and welcome to a new video. Today I'm here to do my stay-at-home reading rush wrap-up. So during the stay-at-home reading rush I did my TBR, which you can see in a video, which I will leave a link in a card around this video. So as you probably know, the reading rush had a special edition between the 16th and the 19th of April. So Thursday to Sunday with 4 challenges just to kind of have a little bit of fun and read during this time when we are all basically closed inside our houses, which I still am for almost a month and a half now. I will remind you of the challenges I achieved by the books I read, and I'm gonna tell you how many pages and books I read during the stay-at-home reading rush. I managed to finish 2 books, and I did start a 3rd one, but I didn't finish it, and I'm currently reading it now. But I will still talk to you about it. The first book I completed was Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McKinston. Now this completed the challenge that said to read a book that made you smile. I was already reading this book when the reading rush started, but I was only like less than 100 pages in, and this book has more than 400 pages, so I thought it would be okay to continue so, and they said so during one of their Instagram lives. So I gave it a like 3.75 out of 5 stars. It's very complicated to give ratings on Goodreads because I really did enjoy reading the book, but I have some problems with it, mainly the absolutely obvious American vision of royalty and European royalty and British royalty. Like, I would be much happier if they had made up a kingdom somewhere in Europe, like Genovia, or something like that, because the White House part was so detailed, so interesting. Like, you could see there was a lot of research done in terms of what happens inside a White House running a campaign, for example, and that was not done in terms of, like very small amount, a very Americanized version that at the same time that it idolizes some members, usually like 1 or 2, manages to at the same time have the absolutely most cynical vision of it as well. So it's very weird for me to read a book about a real European royal house. By the way, there's no royal family in Portugal, so it's not like I'm a royalist. It's a very American, I mean, we feel here, and I've had this conversation with other people, that it's such an American vision of European royalty. It's weird. That being said, the actual love story, the actual romance, the actual thing that has made people excited about this book, Harry again, so on the nose, and Alex, was absolutely amazing. And one of the things that really I enjoy reading was that, you know, I've read Aristotle and Dante, I've read The Miseducation of Cameron Post, I've read a lot of books about LGBTQ characters. Not a lot, I should read more, but a lot of them are sad stories, so I'm really happy about reading a very flirty, very happy ending gay love story. I think it's beautifully done and beautiful to have this story where these 2 characters meet and solve their issues just like any other romance novel. And this is not YA, this is new adult, and that's also like so rare to find. It's a real find, and I'm really happy there's a book out there like this that portrays such a relationship like this in such a happy way, you know? So that's why I gave it almost 4 stars. Like, the romance itself gave it the 4 stars that I gave it on Goodreads, but yeah, I had those issues, the other issues with it, because then those issues that I had actually made some characters not very real. Like, they were very one-dimensional. But the love story, like the 2 main characters, they were not one-dimensional. They were very 3-dimensional characters and very beautifully done. And I really like the love story, so that's that. I'm gonna move on to the next book now. The next book that I started and finished during the stay-at-home reading rush was Daughters of Passion by Julia O'Fallon. I, again, don't know how to pronounce this name because it's an Irish name. So this book is set during, this is a very short story, 40 pages or so. It's set during the Troubles of Ireland, and so in this story you have Maggie, who is in prison, and it's on her 12th day of hunger strike, I believe. We kind of go into how she ended up there, and it's a weird beginning because she's in hunger strike. She is a very, like, her memory is very foggy, and that's how it starts with the book. But then it's very rapidly descends into a very easy to read story, very straight to the point. And I was not expecting this at all, because it's such a short story. I think if you want to know what happens in this, you have to pick it up, because if I just tell you like anything more than this, you will end up spoiled in a way. But yeah, so that's that. This book covered two challenges: the read a book at the same time the whole time, and read a book set somewhere where you would want to go. And actually, this book starts in Ireland, but a lot of it takes place in London as well. And those are two places that I would love to be right now. It fits anyway. I was reading this because of Ireland, but I really love to visit London anyway, so there you go. This works out for those two challenges, and yeah, it was a very easy, very fast read, so there you go. And then I started my third book that I haven't finished. I read 70 pages of it precisely, and that is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. There's a show now that's airing on Hulu, I think, with Reese Witherspoon, which I can totally see. And this book starts out very intriguing. I just love how peculiar the neighborhood this book is set in is, how it's a very interesting image of America. I really enjoy reading in a weird way. We don't have those kinds of neighborhoods here. It's a very specific sort of lifestyle to America, I think. So I started reading this because this would cover the challenge that says read a book with a house on the cover, and this is one of the only few I have. Also because this book has been on my TBR for a long time, because I loved Everything I Never Told You by this author, which was a very unexpected book that I ended up loving when I read it, because I was not expecting to love that story that much, because I'm not very into, mysteries and thrillers and stuff that kind of makes you guess all the time. But this is much more than like a thriller or a mystery. This is truly like literary fiction, of course, but it has a mystery at its center, and that just makes it more compelling to keep reading. But also it's such an analysis on this suburban way of life that's very interesting to me. So yeah, I'm still reading it. I'm 70 pages in. I'm really enjoying the book, and yeah, I cannot wait to keep reading this. But I did not finish it, so I'm not counting that challenge as completed. But that being said, I did start this book. So in total, what we have is I finished 2 books, and the first day I read 213 pages. On the second day I read 45 pages, and I finished Red, White and Royal Blue. On the third day I read 36 pages, and on the fourth day I read 49 plus 70 pages. So the 49 pages were Daughters of Passion, and then 70 pages as well of Little Fires Everywhere. And so I finished another book on Sunday. And that was it. That was my stay-at-home reading rush. Even though I didn't complete all the challenges, I had a lot of fun. And I loved doing the Twitter marathons, and I loved reading my books and kind of dedicate a bit of my time to that, because even though we are all at home, I have been very busy in a way and very compelled to do other things instead of reading. It was very fun to kind of read and immerse myself in these books. It's not just me. I've heard a lot of people say that it's not actually been that easy to read, because there's so much going on and there's so much to do at the same time and so much distracting you, and there's so much option now with Netflix and HBO and YouTube and everything. So I'm not having classes anymore, but I still have stuff to do for university as well, because I'm a master's student. So all that together, I kind of ended up being distracted, and so it was really fun to have like these 4 days dedicated to reading. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. How did the stay-at-home reading rush go for you if you participated in it? I would love to know. Leave the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel, and I would love to see you soon in a new video very soon. Bye!